calling
This
us
conference
to
will now be recorded.
sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call us to order at 5:34 and entertain an approval of our regular August 3rd minutes as well as our August 18th special meeting minutes.
Bob Shalou.
All right, is there a second?
Dan Senft, I'll second.
Thank you, Dan. Are there any corrections, comments related to the minutes? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 3 under our town council update. Councilman Poisson.
Yes, thank you, Alan. The town council approved all items that were on its agenda, which included the future pandemic costs. We approved for $105,000 instead of the original $163,000.
All right, sounds good. And then I understand there was a special meeting last night, and things went well at that also. So that's good news coming from the town council as we move forward and get closer to the end. Anything else,
Yes. No, you're right, Alan. Thank you. I totally forgot about last night. Yeah, we approved the 741 roughly thousand, whatever it was, for the roof above the old gym. Correct. Thanks, Alan.
All right, excellent. Wanted to make sure that you guys got credit for that, and also make sure that everybody was aware that the special meeting was held and went well, and we can move forward with the item that was on there. That'll bring us to item 4. Paul, kind of walk us through the financial update.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, everybody. So the budget is what the budget is. After what I stated in last special meeting's narrative. With the owner's contingency after the approval of the decking change order is now at $319,000 and change. Are there any questions that I can answer for anybody?
Yes,
Robert.
Just some line item questions. Last month on the first page of property, you had a different amount of what you're showing now, 246. You had 700,000, and now it's 246,000.
That's right, Mr. Shalou. So yes, within that narrative, I kind of explained how we needed to. I recommended a budget line transfer. So the remaining balance of that 700 after we expended the 246 and change, was brought down to owner's contingency. If you go to the special meetings narrative within the budget narrative portion of that, I kind of explain how the dollars were moved from one line item to the next.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, I must have missed. So you have a reduction of 881,000 in contingency then from last month after you made all these.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I missed that narrative.
You're okay.
All right, any other questions for Paul in regards to the financial update for where we are at this point in time?
This is Dawn. I just wanted to make a general statement because we did mention something earlier about the approval of COVID related. Just want the committee to know that FEMA came out with a ruling today, and the PPE or any of the expenses related to schools that are not open will not be covered by FEMA. And also, the state had deemed that these expenses would not be covered by the CARES funding as well. So I just want the committee to be aware of that. That's all. I just found out today, so I didn't have a chance to really, before I left, I didn't have a chance to really tell anybody specific via an email yet. So thanks.
All right, Paul, I see you're ready to respond to that.
So thank you, Don. So there's a hard case to be made that these COVID-related expenses are going to be reimbursable for the amount we're supposed to be reimbursed for. So I have backup documentation, Don, showing a letter distributed from the Department of Administrative Services that tells us that we are to follow CDC recommendations. So I have backup documentation to fight this tooth and nail with the state, Don, and I am confident that I am going to get this money for the town. I say confident, but I feel that we have enough backup documentation that there is.
Yeah, I think
there's enough proof.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I'm just saying I agree that the fight will need to be with the school. I mean, with the state, not obviously not FEMA.
Not FEMA, right?
Okay.
But I would be willing to fight with FEMA if the town would like me to. I would certainly.
Oh, this isn't a ruling.
Fight.
This is a nationwide ruling. This isn't specific to our town.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
So if I can elaborate, committee, to the whole committee in the town, this letter that I'm speaking of was issued early on in basically directing all state-funded projects to continue moving forward. And while abiding by the rules that have been put in place by CDC and the recommendations brought down by the state and the governor's letter that he issued. So that's backup documentation that I feel we absolutely should be getting at least 60 cents on the dollar for all these COVID-related expenses. Because what happens on the alternate? We're delayed, and the claims that are coming in from the subcontractors for getting sick. I don't. There's a good case to be fought, and I feel that strongly that we'll bring this home for the town. That's all.
Paul, just to add to that, you're going to present this to the state as a construction-related expense. You know, that the focus is not that it's PPE, and it's certainly
right.
not for students.
Yep.
All right, excellent. Thanks for pointing that out, Paul. I mean, and again, as we understand, as the whole project has been done, these are really, we're sending in bills and then these are reimbursements. And so, yeah, I agree with the strategy here. Anything that we get reimbursed for will be funds that will come back to us to be further spent as we go through the closeout stage and finish up. So before we move forward on to the turn items, I just put that out there one last time. Any questions on the financial update for Paul and Crack? All right, I'm going to move on now to item number 5 and kind of turn things over to Tim, and we'll start going through our turn of business for the evening. Take it away, Tim.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. First one on here.
Hold on, Tim, one sec. Paul, did you want to jump in first?
If I could, Tim, excuse me. I just wanted to touch base on COR 276 for the VRF. So I'm closer to getting an answer from the town attorney. I spoke with Chris Timiak earlier. So it went to Bruce Jackson, and it's now back in Chris Hodgson's desk. And I anticipate having an answer for the committee the next time we meet. At this point, we don't have an answer, so this we'll continue to wait on town attorney's opinion until the next meeting. But I do feel I'm confident that we'll have that opinion the next time we convene.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Paul. Just before Tim starts, I just want to put this out there to everyone. If you're not speaking, to please kind of mute and or silence your phone. I'm starting to hear some feedback, and I'm sure that we're all going to need to be attentive as we go through the Turner items with the update and the look ahead and everything else. All right, Tim, take it away with 281.
All right, COR 281, talking about the pandemic-related costs. It was determined that we would be looking at these month by month. This will get us from now until, past the October meeting. The cost here have been reduced based on the size of the Phase 3A. So again, we went from having two individuals who are doing the daily cleaning, disinfecting services on site. We're down to one is in the projection. We've also removed the negative air machines that were in the previous projections. Again, we're in a fairly open building right now in Phase 3A and with the deck replacement ongoing. So we remove those from the projection. So the total projected cost to get us again through 10/16 of 2020 is $19,939.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve this item.
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette, I'll make a motion to approve.
A second,
Thank you, Mr. Thank you both. So motion been made by Rich Fredette, seconded by Bob Shalou. Is there any discussion concerning this item?
Yeah, I just want to double check that is eligible for the compensation back from the federal government.
Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
All right, Rich. So we spoke about it earlier during the budget portion with Don and myself. Don had just noted that FEMA is not going to cover any PPE expenses. And then I went on to talk about how the argument for the state, the 60 cents on the dollar, is strong. So we're still moving toward the state grant reimbursement on all these expenses, Rich.
Okay, so this will be one of the items that you'll be fighting for.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. Thank you. Any other questions on this item? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. 282, Tim.
All right, change order request number 282 is a reconciliation of COR 234, a portion, I should say, of COR 34. It's included in the backup regarding RFI 499 for the dunnage framing at the rooftop units. We did have a original estimate to do that work of $27,208 that was approved. We did get up there and figure out a better way and a more simplistic way to do it using partitions framing to remove some of the dunnage that was required. Thereby creating a reconciliation to return $10,587 to the town.
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette, I will accept that.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Fredette. Is there a second?
Second, Bob Shalou.
Yes, Janet.
All right. Thank you, Bob. You got in there first. Any other questions, comments, discussion concerning this item? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I suppose just out of habit, I'll ask for any opposition on this credit. Hearing none, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously, and we'll move forward to 283.
All right, I'm looking at COR 283. This is again another reconciliation for bulleted 13 costs. Again, unfortunately, this one is in the opposite direction. Bulletin 13 was approved again as estimated cost for this. This is the area in Phase 3A, that knuckle as we call it, that required all the structural rework in that area. As we got deeper and deeper into there, we were required to get some more shoring to pull together some additional again engineered shoring. I'm sorry, the brick corners we had to work through. Again, some more shoring for the summit masonry. This again has a lot of pieces and parts to it, but in total, this reconciliation is an increase of $10,966. And it is worth noting that Bulletin 13 structural work is complete, and this is the last we plan to see of any of the work over there at that knuckle.
All right. Thank
Mr.
you, Tim.
Chair,
Yes, Mr. Fredette.
I'd like to make a motion to approve. I thought Tim was my friend. I thought he was going to give me nothing but credits tonight, but I guess not.
There's
Okay.
there's a couple more further on down the pipe. Can I get a second on this item?
See them.
Dan Sanford, I'll second.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Danny. Any questions, comments, discussion concerning number 283? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to 284.
All right, COR number 284. This is related to the practice field. The conduit extensions that were requested to extend them from the grassed area through the sidewalk and out into the field related to RFI 568. Total cost to extend those and put the boxes where they were requested is $2,405.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Fredette.
I would like a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Bob Shalou,
Yes,
second.
Chair.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions, comments, discussion concerning this item? Hearing none. Sorry, Ken Poisson. Go ahead, Councilman.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Tim or Lisa, can you just refresh my memory, or Paul? I thought we had already done the conduits and everything out to the field.
Yes, we brought the conduits out to the grassed area that was next to the sidewalks over on the call it the northeast corner of the parking lot. Then we got the location where we needed to move them into the field. So now they're in the turf field.
I can add to that the original conduit extension was done before the design was complete for the turf field.
Yes.
All right, so are these going to be literally on the turf?
Yes.
Yes, they're on the turf. They're in the call it the out of bounds zone around the perimeter of it, only on the northeast corner.
The lids of the conduit access are going to be faced with the turf.
Okay, that was my next question. That's what usually happens. Thank you very much.
Paul, anything to add before we go to vote on this item?
No, the team touched base on everything, Chairman. Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Last call for questions on the conduit extension. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to 285.
All right, COR number 285. This will be for Mr. Fredette. It's a credit for light fixtures. They're called right arm fixtures that were removed from the project. It's a credit to the town of $13,600.
Mr. Chairman, I would gladly accept that.
Thank you, Mr. Fredette. Is there a second?
Second, Bob Shalou.
All right, thank you, Bob.
Sleep at the wheel.
Any question, comment there, Rich?
Nah, never mind.
All right. Anyone else with a question, comment concerning this credit? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Didn't think so. Hearing none, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. On to 286.
All right, COR number 286. This is additional asbestos removal that was identified and located in Phase 3A, right there at that knuckle work that joins over on again the north. It would be the north. The southeast corner of Phase 3A. This work required on top of the existing brick wall that had to come down to create the openings in the walls over there. It was identified that there was a mastic on that brick wall that had to be abated. They set up the containment. We started the abatement, and then we found additional. We had to extend the abatement enclosure and containment, and also abate that. So total cost for this abatement which is again was tracked on T&M. Tickets 4072 through, you could see them there in the change order. Total cost is $26,187.
All right, thank you for that, Tim. Just as a note to the subcommittee here, I don't know who caller 9 is, so I don't know if that's Jack Delapiano possibly feeding in and dropping out. And then just as we move this forward, this will be going to building needs with favorable recommendation to then be sent on to the town council. With that having been said, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette, I'll make a motion to approve our hopefully asbestos-free project here.
Exactly. Is there a
Janet
second?
Robinson.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Robinson. Tim, before we open this up to questions, just as kind of Rich alluded to, is this going to complete our sort of asbestos, mastic, lead exposures in the Phase 3A area, or is there something else possibly lurking?
You know, I would love to tell you that I have 100% confidence that there wouldn't be anything else. I will tell you that the building has been pulled apart. If you walk through Phase 3A now, we're back to block walls. We removed all of this walls that will be coming out as part of the demolition. We've also opened up the stair G, which goes down to the boiler room. So we've identified everything that we believe that's out there today. The only asbestos abatement that remains as part of the project that we're aware of is the flashing for the coping, which is non-friable, and that'll be happening over the next couple of weeks.
All right, thank you for that. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns regarding this item?
And I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I should add, when I mentioned the non-friable flashing abatement, that is part of the base scope of work. It's not coming forward as a change order.
Glad to hear that.
I knew that was going to make more than a couple people happy to hear that news. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously, and that will bring us to 287.
All right, final change order COR 287. This is a credit back to the town of Stratford to remove a good portion of the crack suppression membrane that was intended to go below the terrazzo floor in the civic lobby. That crack suppression membrane, in coordination with Antonazzi and the subcontractor Joseph Cohn, was determined that it wasn't required to go through the entire field. They have credited back $6,673 in total to the town to remove that at the entire field.
All right, excellent. Mr. Fredette?
Yes, I would gladly accept that also. And I like the way Tim did this. Every other one was a credit. He was baiting me the whole time.
Second, Janet.
All right, thank you. Thank you both. Are there any questions, comments concerning this item? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. As Tim had said, that kind of concludes the Turner change order report for the evening under item 5. We're going to move forward to item 6, staying with Tim. And Tim, just walk us through the. Oh, I'm sorry, Danny.
Yeah, can we just go back to 276 for a minute? Because I pulled something up from April of 2017, and I had questioned the VFR system. So my question is, let me just read this from, this was from Mr. Schnedeker from his commission update. And it says, it actually was a question by Mr. Chase at the time, was questioning Division 23, as well as the definition of a commissioning agent. And Mr. Llewellyn explained that Division 23 is the HVAC section of the building specifications. So that is what the mechanical contractors are largely bidding off of. Mr. Llewellyn also explained that a commissioning agent on behalf of the project ensures that all major pieces of equipment that are selected for the job can perform as specified. So is this applicable to 276? And does this basically put this in the hands of the commissioning agent as far as responsibility?
So I might need Paul's help on this a little bit, but basically it's my understanding that because the VRF system has never fully functioned properly in the way it was presented and in the way it was shown on the drawings, that there's sort of open commissioning that's still ongoing related to the classroom building. Paul, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
So, Chairman, Dan, going back to what you said verbatim, you kind of talk about the roles of the commissioning agent, how he's on the owner's side to make sure that the things are built to the spec. So that's where we are now because it wasn't functioning properly. So the commissioning, once everything was in place per the spec, Dan, we had the commissioning agent come in and commission the system, and that therein lies the issues that we came up with and we still haven't resolved to this day.
Okay.
So
we also in there, it says that upon completion of the project, Dynamic Systems performance testing will be performing some testing. Now, has that been done yet, or is that still in the works?
No, it's still in the works. We won't accept it until it's functioning properly. And that's what we're working toward, is getting the system to function properly in the way it was designed to function.
So legally, we don't know where we stand right now.
So right now, I think we wait to see what Chris Hodgson says with the information that I sent him. Him and Bruce Jackson both. I'm sure we'll chime in. I've had meetings with John Casey and Chris Timiak to discuss this further and try to get this moving forward. So in the last narrative, Dan, we kind of talk about what the committee's options are. Do we stick our feet in the sand, and do we try to get compensation for LG's error, or do we get the system up and running for the end user to be comfortable, and then consider going after LG after the end user is satisfied?
I think, Paul, my only concern would be if we go that route, LG is going to wash their hands completely from it. That's my concern, that any warranty that we have in place with LG would basically be voided due to the fact that we are using a third party basically to do some additional work. Is that true or not true?
So look, Lisa and Tim, can you chime in here, please, with regard to the warranty and the programming that we'd be implementing and whether it has any impact on the warranty?
This is Tim. The warranty that LG provides you is based on their material and defects in manufacturing. The system, once it's installed, is parts and pieces that are put together by MJ Daly. So each one of those components carries the warranty. The way that it's operating with the third party, all the third party is going to be doing is going to be commanding it, which is what the intent of the third party control system is. So it's going to command it to go into cooling or go into heat instead of commanding it to be in auto. So the command itself is, you could equate it to, your thermostat at your house and putting it to cooling or putting it to heat. We're just having a third party control system perform that function, which isn't a function that LG offers.
Got it. So
with a wide range, I'm sorry.
The other question I have then, is there any type of workmanship warranty on the product itself? So obviously there's a material warranty, but is there a workmanship warranty?
There's a statutory 1-year warranty that comes with the system from substantial completion. That's again a state mandated workmanship warranty. I would have to check the specifications to see if there's a special workmanship warranty that was called out. I don't know off the top of my head, Dan.
I would add, we've been excluding VRF from substantial completion.
Okay.
Yeah, part of, and you started with commissioning, a part of substantial completion, the definition of that is commissioning completion. So as Paul was talking about, so commissioning has to be done for substantial completion to occur on any system. For commissioning to start through SES, who's your commissioning agent, pre-functional checklist, startup reports, and system balancing reports have to be submitted in order for SES to even start the commissioning process. Pre-functional checklist can't be complete because the system isn't operating correctly.
Got it. All right. Thanks for the explanation. I appreciate it.
All right. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, just one more thing, Dan. So in short, to finish up what Tim is saying, our warranty period has not started yet because we have not accepted this system. Once it is running to our satisfaction is when the substantial completion will start.
Good. Thank you.
The VRF warranty is 5 years on the compressor, and then the statutory 1 year on parts and labor.
All right. All right, Tim. So getting back to the agenda under item 6, take us through the dashboard and then kind of the highlights of the 6-week look ahead, and we'll continue moving forward. All right. Thanks, Tim.
Sure, absolutely. So again, a couple highlights here on the monthly report. And again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to bring them up. Project accomplishments. Again, number one project accomplishment here for the entire team was the issuance of the certificate of occupancy for Phase 2B, which is the entire east parcel project. So very, very great accomplishment for the entire project team. Again, the fire marshal, the building officials, and again, the school faculty that have come through have been, pretty amazed with the way that the building has come together. So it's looking great. Again, we're doing some final cleanup here, final, touch-ups for painting and some change order cleanups, but we'll be prepared and ready for students to enter the school on September 9th. Again, all these other accomplishments refer to Phase 3A at this point. Turf field right now is ahead of schedule. We expect the turf delivery to come in the second, third week of September. So they're fine grading out there now, and the turf field is working its way very well. Over in the building C, north side, as I said earlier, bulletin 13 work structurally has been completed. The demolition and mist steel in the gym is done. Under slab plumbing in the high roof area is complete, and the majority is done over on the south side. And stair G has been opened up and is ready to be poured back in. So I'll get to what happens over the next 6 weeks when I hit the 6-week look ahead. A couple of the critical activities over in section 4, HVAC balancing and commissioning. With the exception of the VRF system, we are getting closer and closer to being complete with the commissioning over there, which again will allow us to turn those DOAS units and the AC units over to the town. We will also turn over the BMS system, with the exception of maintaining and operating the VRF portion of that. The VRF system, as we alluded to, again, is still in conversations. We are on weekly calls with LG. Their rep, Novia, MJ Daly, the controls contractor, Turner, is on a weekly call. This week we actually have 2. We have one tomorrow and we have one on Friday. So again, we're getting closer and closer. We had 2 more individuals arrive today to start troubleshooting the system based on their experience. Flooring warranty issues and concerns. Over in building A, right now we only have the 2nd and 3rd floor post remediation punch list to work through, as well as the 1st floor warranty on the carpet tile, but there are no issues with the carpet tile. It's just a formality to get the warranty. But again, 1st floor has been remediated. 1st floor over there, in my opinion, looks great. As well as we had the same installer who did the 1st floor over in building A, put it down over here in building B. So again, the more civic side of the building has a very good appearance to the rubber floor. And then Phase 3 has existing deck. As we talked about with the council meeting, the order of magnitude allowance was approved. We will be We expect shop drawings to be into us by the end of this week, which I'll hit on in the 6-week look ahead, as well as we're going to get going with the ripping of the roof. We're planning for, I believe it's the week of September 14th. And then a few items here: spiral stair enclosure, aluminum rails, and exterior signage. Those all had some quality concerns out here that we had rejected them. They're being refabricated and addressed. They are not part of substantial completion letter issued by Antonazzi. So again, warranty doesn't start for those items. And then finally, the only other thing I'll hit on here, unless people have questions, are the schedule. You'll see that the items to complete list for phase 3A has shifted that 12 weeks that we had talked about when we did the order of magnitude. That 12 weeks is been rolled into the schedule. It's out to the subcontractors now to be able to validate and make sure we confirm the durations necessary to pull the roof off and to put the new roof back on. As well as the building trade requirements. I've met with the Fairfield building trades on several occasions, spoke to them this morning to be able to make sure we have the appropriate personnel performing this work. All right, are there any questions on the monthly report?
Mr. Chairman, Rich Fredette.
Go ahead, Rich, take it away.
To Tim, driving by today, I couldn't help but notice that the practice field appeared to have a downward slope towards, say, King Street and the far driveway. Is that going to be how it's going to stay, or is it going to, or is that for drainage, or is that for just because you got another 3 weeks and you guys can play around with it more and straighten it out, or?
No, you'll see them continue grading out there, but the turf field is pitched for drainage. So you will see that out there. There's under drain underneath it, but they are fine grading. They've got the machinery out there and they're bringing in additional materials each day. Trucks roll in. They're probably 12 trucks came in today with additional materials. So they'll continue grading, and then field turf, they'll come in and they'll survey before they'll put any turf down. So again, they have to accept the substrate before they'll start performing their work.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Poisson.
Rich, you have nothing to worry about, and this will make Paul and Tim and Lisa laugh. My classroom faces the turf field, and I've been watching those guys every second I can. So that field will be totally flat before the turf goes down. And Tim's absolutely right. Before field turf comes in, they will not lay a field down on substrate in the subsurface if they don't think it's acceptable. So Tim has everything pretty much in control. Thank you, Tim.
Okay, with all due respect, Eagle Eye, you're looking down on it. I understand. I just wanted to give a perspective from the street.
Yeah, no, and Rich, the other thing that makes it look really slope there is, I believe the sidewalk is much higher than the curb. So there's that slope there from the sidewalk down to the street that makes it look even worse, to somebody out on the street.
Okay, well, then it did.
Yeah. That's where our lovely tree, that's where our lovely trees are going.
You think so?
To elaborate on what Ken was saying, the sidewalk pitches up slightly as it goes north, which would also increase that appearance.
And let's face it, Rich is getting old, so his perception isn't as good as it used to be.
Excuse me, Mr. Synth. It was probably because I was on that nicely paved road that was pitched in another direction that we finally got. But never mind. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right, thanks. Thank you there, Mr. Fredette. Yeah, no, Tim, I think I can speak for the entire town as well as the subcommittee, building needs committee, and probably the bulk of the town council and mayor's office. Everybody was very happy to see the paving get put down last week. And so I can agree with what Rich and Ken are saying also. I've driven past it a couple times and kind of slowed down while coming down King Street, and it is a little bit of almost of an optical illusion. But again, as Ken said, having field turf's performance record here in town we're all very confident that they won't move forward unless it's what they're expecting to have to put the turf down. Any other questions for Tim before we move on? All right, hearing none. Paul, you're up next to kind of bring us through item 7 on the photovoltaic.
Thank you, Chairman. So an update on the photovoltaic. I talked with John Casey this morning, followed up by face-to-face with Chris Timiak. Tomorrow I'm going to be sending Chris some information for him to digest and understand completely what the town's options are in relation to coupling projects for a photovoltaic project, standalone photovoltaic project up at the state. So I just trying to provide Chris with enough information so the town can make an educated decision moving forward. Because it's not just the high school; they're thinking beyond the high school for operational cost reductions on multiple schools. So as of right now, I think the town is still trying to decide what path they want to do when it comes to PV on this building. Are there any questions that I can answer for anybody?
Are you done yet?
Nope,
Yes,
Paul.
thank you.
I'll do a last call for questions before we move on. But I just wanted to say I think it's good that in terms of the photovoltaic, we're kind of trying to take the same approach that we took with the turf field. You know, we had field turf in town working on other projects. I think we were able to get some economy of scale and some savings for everybody across the board by having them bounce back and forth between their Brunel work and then Stratford High. It would be great to see something similar happen with the photovoltaics. And again, just so that everybody's aware that for the record, Paul, that piece of money that we've had set aside from day one for the photovoltaic is still sitting there waiting for us to get to the solar work, correct?
That's correct, Chairman.
Excellent. Good to hear. Just wanted to confirm that. Does anyone else on the subcommittee have questions for Paul concerning the photovoltaic? All right, I'll move forward. Our next regular meeting scheduled for October 5th at 5:30 p.m. Again, pencil in a little more than 2 weeks from tonight, but our special meeting, if needed, would be September 21st at 5:30. Only because it's on the agenda. Item 9 is the on-campus athletic field. Lisa, if you have anything to add, please do so now. I know we kind of already discussed that under the Turner scheduling item.
Correct, Alan. I think it's been well covered.
Excellent. Just wanted to move forward. Under new business, Paul and I had discussed possibly bringing in the VRF as a topic of discussion as a new business item. I think we already we touched on that. There's a design team sort of response to an RFI that a subcommittee member had, so we can sort of take that under advisement for now, and we'll see what happens when we get our letter of opinion through the town attorney's office. Paul, is there anything else to touch on relative to the VRF at this point in time?
Not at this moment, Chairman.
All right, excellent. Moving forward then, that brings us to item 11. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved,
Poisson.
Second, Janet.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And we are, chair votes aye, and we are off the clock at 6:18. Thank you everyone for your participation tonight.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good evening. I'm going to call the Building Needs Committee of September 1st, 2020 to order at 6:21 p.m. I'm Ken Poisson, 6th District Councilman and Chairman of the Building Needs Committee. The second item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from August 3rd and August 17th. I'll take a motion to approve.
So
Motion
moved.
to approve. Aileen, did you get both of those?
Yes, I did. It was a motion by Lom, second by Dan Stempt.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Item 3 is ongoing items. 3A is Board of Ed buildings, and A1 is Stratford High renovations. Mr. Chairman Llewellyn.
Thank you very much, Councilman BNC Chairman Poisson. As usual, Stratford High met prior to the BNC meeting tonight. Thank you again to several of the members of this committee that dialed in for the subcommittee meeting to help us move things along. The big news that happened is we did get the TCO for the Phase 2B space, so that will be turned over and ready for the students. The monthly dashboard report, for those who see it, has some very nice looking finished photos for the main lobby, the auditorium, the main gym. We're working well with the council moving forward. Our Phase 3B situation with the roof deck repair is going to move forward, and we're ready for field turf for a couple weeks further down the road. And then Turner had some items for us to work through this evening, so I'm going to move forward with those. The first Turner item was change order request number 281, which was for the pandemic costs, and this will take us through October 16th of 2020. I would move that we accept this in the amount of $19,939.
Is there a second?
Second,
Okay,
Ron Zicky.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
Next item was numbered 282. This was from a prior COR request off of RFI 499, which was framing and roof dunnage. So this is a reconciliation. I would move that we accept this in the credit amount of $10,587.
Second, Ron.
Hey, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
Item number 283, this was related to some further additional costs from off of Bulletin 13. This is in the knuckle area. There was some added shoring for the inspections, as well as some added shoring for the masonry work that's ongoing. I would move that we accept this in the amount of $10,966.
Second.
Second, Zicky.
Hey, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
Item number 284. This is over at the practice field where the turf field is going. This was for some conduit extensions to bring some of the electrical boxes into the grassy area on the actual turf field itself. I would move that we accept this in the amount of $2,405.
Second.
Hey, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
This is number 285. This is a credit for some stage lighting fixtures. These are known as quote-unquote right arm fixtures. I would move that we accept this credit in the amount of $13,600.
Second, Ron Zicky.
Hey, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Next.
This item, change order request number 286. This is for additional asbestos removal in the Phase 3 area, which is the knuckle area that's currently under major construction. Some flashings were discovered on coping, mastic on brick. And I would move that we accept this and send to town council with favorable recommendation in the amount of $26,187.
Second, Danson.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. And next.
This was our last Turner item for the evening, number 287. This is off of the response to RFI 557. There's some crack suppression membrane that was not required to be used in the lobby area. So I would move that we accept this in the credit amount of $6,673.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much, Alan.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Poisson.
Okay, item A2 is open work orders for Board of Ed buildings. Again, emailed out ahead of time to us, which is always very great to keep things moving along. Does anybody have any questions for Dan or Rich? I don't believe Rich is on because there's a Board of Ed meeting. Any questions for Dan?
Mr. Chair?
Ron, go ahead.
Yeah, Dan, do you feel this 166 open work orders is accurate, or do you think this list needs to be updated?
It might be close. I mean, we've really been concentrating on like the COVID items as far as the HVAC systems and getting all that stuff done. So we spent the whole summer on the roofs and doing PMs on all and that's where the majority of the work is, the HVAC stuff. So there might be some things inside that need to be done. Plumbers were helping out with that too. So in carpentry, we just got another guy back. We were short. We were only down one guy. We're still waiting for another one. So we get 3 back. So it might be close. We might be down to probably about 100, maybe somewhere around there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Dan. Sam.
Hey, Dan, just to note, a couple things with the landscaping crews. So, there's times that who's ever cutting the grass, if he comes across a branch and I'm not talking a large branch that can't be moved by hand, they basically will just cut around it. And that thing will sit there for sometimes months at a time before it's removed. And I know we just had several storms come through and I know they're doing a lot of work, but if those guys can just, if they can jump out of the truck every so often and pick up those branches, because it's an eyesore around town when you see that.
Absolutely. I'll pass that along. Make sure that gets done.
Any other questions for Dan?
Greg Can.
Yes, Greg.
Thank you. I'll just second Mr. Sant's point about removing branches, on school property or in town parks, it just rather than mow around them. So thank you for bringing that up. That's it.
Dan, I have a question. Dan, I have a question about the Alpha program. Some of the teachers in there said that the fans or the air exchangers in their rooms were turned off today. Do you know anything about that?
We were working on the unit. The principal requested that we shut them off and she wanted them to open the windows, but we were working on the unit. I sent the guys over. I wasn't sure what the problem was. So we told the custodian just to shut the unit down and then we would be over there today to take a look at it. But she said the principal there wanted the windows open. And I don't know if it's for ventilation or what the reason was. But I sent our guys over there just to see if there was a problem with the air conditioning. I don't know. They were still there when I left, so I'm not sure what the answer is.
All right, because some of those rooms, some of those classrooms don't have windows.
Right.
And some of those teachers were concerned that, it's hot, it's muggy, they have to wear a mask, and there was no fan, no air circulation, no anything, because we're shooting for that 50% air exchange, right?
Absolutely. No, there was just a glitch. There was something with that unit. I don't know what happened, but they were working on it today.
Okay, thanks. I'll pass that along to him. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any other questions for Danny? All right, item 3B is general buildings, open work orders for town buildings. Again, emailed out ahead of time to us all. Is there any questions on town buildings for Danny?
Greg Can.
Go ahead, Greg.
Thank you, sir. This list, the work order list, how open work orders, I'm sure open work orders is much larger than this list. Is it intended to be new orders or a comprehensive list?
Sorry, that's a comprehensive list. That's everything on the town side that's open at this point.
If I have 7 residents who've contacted Public Works regarding scheduling stump grinding, and they're not listed on here, should they?
Greg, Greg, that doesn't fall under building needs. That's under Public Works. This is town buildings.
Buildings. Well, I'm just looking at the open work orders. It has stump grinding in like 5 different places.
Yeah, I think they were inadvertently put on that list also. They should just be on the tree list.
Okay. I was just looking to make sure we had a comprehensive list, and I can follow up with the office later.
Yeah, I saw those on there, and I asked them to put them on to make sure they were on the other list also, not just on mine.
All right, I understand.
Any other questions for Dan? Okay, item B2 is Booth Park. Is there any new news on Booth Park, Dan?
Well, we actually got the clock fixed finally. So what happened? It ended up getting overwhelmed and the pulley jumped, so we had to make a rig up to raise one of the weights and get it back on the cables back on the pulleys. So we installed stops, so that can't happen again. And the only other thing is in the dance hall, we're going to paint and redo the floor. Either I refinish the floor, paint the room, probably change the light fixtures, some things like that, just while it's not being rented.
Thanks,
Was
Dan.
that clock?
I can finally tell the time when I'm outside.
Excuse me, I couldn't hear that.
I said I can finally tell the time when I'm outside.
Yes. I think the last time you asked me if it was working, I drove by at 9 o'clock and it said 9 o'clock, so I assumed it was, and it was just.
That's working. It is.
Danny, was that clock malfunction something the installer did or something we did, or what was it?
No, I believe it was just when it was wound too tight, and there's like 200-pound weights, and it got jammed. In the pulley the cable jumped off the pulley, so we just had to reposition it.
Okay, and you told the people that are winding it not to wind it so hard anymore?
Yes, and it's hard to see because it's up like 30 feet up. So we installed stops, so we can't go that far and do that anymore. The weight will hit the stop before it goes off the rails.
Any other questions?
It's Greg Can. Thank you, Ken. The lighthouse, I should say, the residence building next to the lighthouse.
Yes.
It was the process of getting updated, painted. When would that quote building be completed so we could start renting it out?
I was out there today. Painting wise, they probably have maybe another 3-4 days if weather permitting. It's in pretty good shape. Inside, everything's working, everything's functioning. It's just a matter of, getting it opened up.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else for Danny? Okay, item 4 is new business. Anybody have any new business? Hearing none, item 5 is our next regular meeting. We're back to the first Monday of the month. It'll be Monday, October 5th. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman. Rich for that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Chair
everyone.
votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned to 6:37. Thank you, everybody, for your time and effort.